Hey, fellow Aquas. How y'all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to be doing your first half of May general reading here. We're going to start off with some animal energy, but of course, and then go right into the cards. First things first, I got to apologize and beg your pardon for a boudoir voice. Been fighting a bit of a cold. Hopefully I don't sound too crazy. And we're just going to keep on keeping on, because that's what we do. All right. Woohoo! So let's see. What is the animal energy? Aries first. Thank you. How did I know? Okay. This came up in the meditation. So we've got the lion here. I got to tell you something about this, because I have been hearing this phrase over and over the past, well, it's been months, but then it really picked up within these past week. The phrase tooth and nail. Tooth and nail, tooth and nail. Everybody I run into is using it in a sentence somehow, like tooth and nail, tooth and nail, tooth and nail. And I feel like this is really, actually really beautiful. And I feel like I'm starting to understand, what it means, especially with this coming up here. So the lion is about strength and confidence and poise. Poise, poise, poise. I mean, look at that lion. Looking all regal and stuff, right? The lion energy is about having poise and standing still amidst all of the change, turbulence, stumbles, curveballs. I just heard curveballs that are really happening. And listen, let's just be real. That's what we're in for right now. We've got a lot of planets in retrograde. Mercury's going to be going into retrograde on July 7th. Things are about to be, what I'm getting this image of? It's really, really funny. Is it for bingo or I'm getting flashes of childhood where you would go to those church bazaars and they would have that big ball with little ping pong balls with numbers on them, and they would crank it and the different balls would pop out and it'd be number 10, bingo! Like that. It kind of feels like that rotating machine with all the balls at different numbers just kind of popping up in different places. It feels like a rearrangement. It does. It feels like a rearrangement. But in a really necessary way. Do you know what I mean by that? It's kind of I've been talking about how we're entering into, or we're actually we already have entered into a new timeline. And this is a group of us that have entered into a new timeline, okay? Not everybody, but there is a large group of us. And for the collective that I'm reading for, we are in a new timeline. So within that, I get the image of what's the worst part of flying, like traveling by plane? It's the security checkout section. Okay, it's the security line. It's it's awful, right? Because you're vulnerable. You go in, you're around a bunch of strangers, then you got to take off your shoes, begging your pardon. I cannot stand that part. You got to take off your shoes. So you're standing there with your feet on this weird foreign floor. And then you got to take all of your belongings, put them in some strange germ-encrusted bin, send it down this line. And then sometimes your stuff gets to the end of the, security checkpoint before you do. You got to hope and pray that nobody takes your things. You're trying to keep an eye on it, but all this stuff. Then you got to go stand in that rotating tech thing that's looking at all your bits and all your insides and all your, hello. And then you got to hope that you're not pulled off to the side and subjected to some weird search and scanner thing. Oh, God. I mean, it's the absolute worst. And it kind of feels like within this new timeline, we are in the security, checkout section part of it. Because being in a new timeline is not just oh, bippity boppity boo, I'm in a new timeline. Oh my God, it's like ground control to Major Tom. Kind of, the David Bowie song, where it's in order to enter from one atmosphere to another, to go from one atmosphere to another, there must be lubrication, which means we have to be prepped and ready and modified, right? In order to best acclimate ourselves within the new timeline. What does that mean? We're in a new timeline, but we're in the incubation period of going through that security checkout line, which means that anything that is old, any of this crud, any past pain, old, outdated thoughts of feeling, being, thinking, whatever that is of the old timeline is literally being culled as we're in this new timeline. Imagine being in outer space. It feels very intergalactic vibes. I don't know why. But imagine like being in space or being in a spaceship in space and you're moving into a new atmosphere. And like you just see like all of this, old stuff just being burned away through the atmosphere as you go from one point to another. That's what it feels like. It's exactly what this feels like. And think about it. The lion, the strength card, right? The strength card, that key is all about connecting in with the strength within and around you. Listen, you don't need to do that if it's all, lollipops and rainbows and peppermints and, cupcakes. Whenever the strength card comes up, I say the same thing about the ebb and flow card in the Earth Magic Oracle deck. It's because strength is needed. Okay. But that very much feels like where we are right now, but it's okay. It's just a part of it. And it's a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of, look, I got 4 wands. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of this new timeline. But within that, we are, we are being cleaned and, modified and prepared. Because we really can't be in this new timeline. We're in the quarantine. That's what it is. It's the word I've been looking for. We're in the quarantine time. Within this quarantine time, we might have some tower moments because that stuff has to be cooled away, right? That's just what it is. It's not pleasant. You know what I mean? Like whenever, oh gosh, I split the deck and I got the strength card. This is what I'm talking about. Like in those movies where like they have to quarantine people and then they like power wash them down and it's really unpleasant to get them rid of any like chemicals or weird, stuff that they have picked up out there. That's very much what this feels like, okay? What's on the other side of it's so worth it. It's just like that's where we are right now. So let's see what's going on for first half of the night. And here we are. 6 of Wands. I absolutely love this. 6 of Wands is victory. And I do feel like it is victory around everything that I've been talking about. But the 6 of Wands too is a victory in a way that other people can see. So it's either an internal victory that manifests in a physical way, or it's an actual physical victory that you also feel on the inside. Okay. But this is like, like just like all the feel goods. Right? You don't get this without having to go through the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands is true struggle, competition. It's that type deal. And by the way, in PS, okay, remember how I said that not everybody has entered into this new timeline? If you have people around you that, are not in the new timeline, but they're still around you, there could be some discord within and around them, okay? You might be seeing eye to eye even, less so than you did before, or just like the energy feels different between you. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Let's see what else is going on for us. We're at 6 of Wands. 8 of Cups. Yeah, this is exactly what it is. Do you remember what I literally just said about people around you that are of the old timeline and you're in this new one and it's like, whoa, it just feels different between us. There might even be people who you were kind of okay with before, you tolerated before, but now they're getting on your last damn nerve. Seriously. Or you just have less of an ability to tolerate them or have them in your energy because it's just like it's literally you're in another timeline and it just feels like a shoe that just literally is giving you blisters. That's what this is. But this is also about, like I said earlier, about being culled from those things of your old timeline that can no longer service you in this new one. Period. Quarantine, right? Incubation, cleansing, all of that stuff. Right. 6 to the 8, both even numbers. And then we got the Knight of Pentacles here, and this is exactly what it is. So, this is a slow moving offer, that takes its time to manifest. But this feels really important too, I have to say here, because there's this thing about timing and pacing. And I keep getting this image of like being in space. And you know when people in space and you see videos of them, like the spacesuits, like they're moving like slowly, like all that stuff, and that feels really, really relevant. And I do feel like we're being called to just like take our time as much as possible wherever we can, because things are speeding up. You have already noticed this. Things are speeding up and have been speeding up in a major way. And our body may have trouble catching up a little bit or keeping up a little bit. Excuse me. Okay, I'm a really good example of that. Where it's like, oh, there's a lot going on. I need to go. There's this collective energy. You know, we have, like I said, like there's a lot of planets in retrograde. We're going into Mercury retrograde on the 7th. But it's really important to just kind of keep your own faith. Well, yeah, keep the faith. For sure, keep the faith. But keep your own pace as much as possible. And I keep getting this. God, I keep getting this. Those who are on a different road than where you're going, who have been in your, atmosphere for some time, it's almost as if you're looking at them and they look like aliens from outer space. And, when they talk to you, it kind of sounds like, you know what I mean? It's like, are we speaking the same language anymore? Like, I think I need like an interpreter. And it feels like there's this energy of like stress from them, like towards you. This could be people you work with, friends, family, whatever. Just people in your atmosphere as you're going to work, as you're on the subway, as you're on the bus, or drivers around you, whatever it is. I think you're just going to be noticing here that there's just kind of like this difference. And I don't want to say divide, because I'm not trying to be separatist on y'all or anything, but it just feel like there's this marked difference where it's like, and for Aquarians anyway, like we are humanitarians and we truly love people, but there is this feeling of we already naturally kind of feel really different from people. It can be difficult to find people who truly see us or understand like the inner workings of our, imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus minds, you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like that might be coming up more and more where it's like, wow, I'm feeling a bit like I'm speaking another language than the people around me. Star card, our card. So this is beautiful with the 6 of Wands, because the 6 of Wands, like I said, is like a victory in a way that, other people can see or that you really feel on the outside. It's just really, really beautiful. And the Star card, this is our card. This is very much about, it's about having the spotlight on us. And so is the 6 of Wands. Because the 6 of Wands is very much about being the public energy. So for some of y'all, you could very much be in the public eye. You could very much have a lot of attention on you. But I also feel like this is saying a lot of people are going to be drawn towards you in a way that feels a little like you are on your own reality TV show. And it's like what's going on? Like, what is that movie? I can't remember what it was called, but it was like Ed or something, where like this guy was like being filmed and everyone was watching all the time. It kind of feels like that. I don't mean that in like a creepy way or anything, but it really does feel like there's this point of focus where it's like, okay, Aquarius, what do we do now? What are you going to do now? Like, where are you going? Where you been? What do you know? What did you see? What do you know? Like that kind of energy here. But this is also about us, having divine hope and faith, just like the lion, and connecting with that strength within and around us and keeping the faith at this time. I wish I could really like implant everything that's in head, like in a visual form right now to you, because it really just feels like we are in some kind of crazy, like, Terry Gilliam, strange David Lynch like film or something. If you know who either of those directors are, there's just like really fantastical directors here. Let's get a clarifier for this 8 of Cups. Why don't we though? Whoa! 9 of Cups and 3 of Cups. That's what it is. So this is I'm kind of obsessed with this, because we got the 8 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. So remember how I said, like, this is like, things that no longer are working in this new vibration, like being called away. You might even feel like, the people that you spent a lot of time with before, it's just not clicking anymore. This is about finding your true tribe, forming new relationships with other people that you may not have yet met that are of your new timeline. Your new timeline, okay? And as you connect with these other people that are in your new timeline, it's like the people from the other time, it's just, you're going to start feeling like, oh gosh, I don't even know what to say to you anymore. I don't even really know how to relate to you. You know, I'm getting a really funny image. It's just like an old trope of like when you go to the hairdresser and it's like, there's a book by Joan Didion called Play It As It Lays, where the main character, Mariah, talks about this, where it's like, I can never keep up the end of the conversation with the hairdresser. I just can't do it. Like, I don't know what to say. It's very strange. Like, the blow dryer comes on right when I think of something witty to say. It's very stressful. And it kind of feels like a similar thing, where it's like, and how do you even explain to these people who are of this old timeline of like, this is why it's not clicking anymore, because you even have trouble completely understanding it yourself. And how do you come out and be like, especially if they're a muggle, right? And be like, hey, I'm going to not go for that after work drink that we always go for, because to be quite honest with you, we're in different timelines now. And basically, you're kind of like an alien from, a different race. And I have to go and find a true alien tribe right now. Like, how are you even going to explain that? Like, this could even, what I'm getting here too? Like, I'm not trying to make complete light of this. It's just like, it feels really intense. It feels like there's a lot of healing that's going on because of this. And, for some of you, this could be manifesting in your close relationships, not just people that you work with, people that you've been with for a long time, friends that you've had for a long time, partners that you've had for a long time, people that you really thought that you would be, like this with forever and ever and ever. And now it's like, well, I don't want to not have you in life, but things need to change and alter because I'm different. I've changed. Look at this 8 of Cups here on the bottom of this deck. I'm getting this song. It's from Into the Woods. And it's like, you've changed. You're different. You're different in the woods. It really feels like the woods are the metaphor for the security at the airport, for this incubation, purification period. It's like when you come out of it, it's just like, I'm different. And because in a way that I can't even necessarily explain or verbalize in a way that even makes complete sense to myself, let alone trying to explain it to anybody else. But that's what this feels like, and it feels really important. And I have to tell you, it feels like this collective that I'm clicking into here, like part of the reason that you're in this new timeline is because you have great work to do. It isn't just like, oh, cool, I won the lottery and now I'm in a new timeline and there's no greater reason for it. Yeah, sorry, no. It's because you have great work to do. I feel like I'm talking to healers. I feel like I'm talking to light workers. I feel like I'm talking to shadow workers even. I feel like I'm talking to anyone who has a mind or a purpose to change their little piece of the world and leave it better than they found it. If you're watching this and you have a desire to leave your part of the world better than how you found it, this is for you. And this is why you're in this new timeline. They have that saying, like, wounded healer, like, for a very good reason. This is not easy. This is not easy. And by the way, if you fall into that group of what I just said, you're an old soul. You've been here many times. And there could be this sense of weariness that comes along, very 9 of Wands, this sense of weariness that comes along with that, where it's like, my gosh, I feel so blessed and happy that I'm being called to do this great work. I'm getting a lot of intuitive downloads. I feel like I'm shifting into a completely new vibration. It feels like going from one season to another really quickly. That's what it is. It's kind of like during the dead of winter and you get on a flight in Alaska and then you fly to Los Angeles and you get off the plane. That's what this feels like. And you're on the airplane right now, going from one to another. That's what it feels like. Let's get a clarifier for this Knight of Pentacles here. 6 of Swords. I love it. So yeah, a lot of 6s here. So 6 of Swords for this Knight of Pentacles. So I really love this because, again, we said this is like a slow moving offer. It's something that takes its time. Something that takes its time. And I feel like this slow moving offer isn't like, it's more in the sense of like a slow moving offer of an opportunity, like from the universe, from your higher self, of like, let's shift you into this new timeline in place and vibration, right? So that you can go on and do the work that you're meant to do. Because we want that for you, because you want it. Again, I'm speaking to humanitarians right now. I am. That's who I'm speaking to. The Six of Swords here is moving into calmer waters. And again, how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop? That's what I'm feeling here. That's literally what it feels like. It's like moving into calmer waters and leaving behind everything that's of an, just the old, and going into this new place. And it's taking its time. This is a process, darlings. This is a process. This isn't something that's just like, oh, well, it happened overnight. But guess what? Things that happen overnight, we rarely appreciate anyway. Just be honest. Let's get an oracle for us. Let's get an oracle. But I'm telling you, if you're watching this and you're really in a place where, it also feels like this deep need to be grounded. If you feel like you're like about to, like blast off into the stratosphere, it's really, 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 really important to just like, ground yourself in a really, really active way. I do feel like you're going to be calling in and meeting people of this new timeline, of your new tribe, or not really new, but new to this particular lifetime. I do feel like you're being called to step into your mission work right now. I really, really do. And this is what is needed to do that. And the sun just like came out in a really pretty way. All right. Let's get an oracle from Aquarius. Let's do it. I cannot. It's just, Dragonfly emergence at the bottom. Dragonfly came up in your meditation. I cannot with this. First of all, we have clouds, shape-shifting, which is exactly what I was talking about. Going from one place to another, right? And then crystals, focus. Guess what these are? These are amethysts. Ooh, look. I have amethyst ring on today. I don't always wear this. Well, it's amethyst and Super 7. But anyway. These are amethyst crystals, darlings. This is our birthstone. Yes, it is. And you better work. And 2 C's here, too. C is the 3rd letter in the alphabet. And it's a 3-year. They're bringing attention to this. And then 6 is 3 times 2 is 6. It feels really, really important to talk about 3 for a second, because we are in a 3-year. When things are going really, really well, it is like I like to say, living in your own Disney musical really well. When things are not going well, it's hard to see the forest through the trees. Okay? Keep that in mind. When things seem a little difficult, take on that bird's eye view and just go, oh, wait a minute, I'm in a 3-year. It's okay. It's okay. Things seem really difficult right now, but they're going to turn around really quickly, okay? But again, shape-shifting and focus. It is extra. And you know what? Crystals are from the earth, right? This is going back to grounding. I'm also getting some fairy vibes here, which very much represent nature, being in nature, connecting with it. This is going to move you through this time with the most ease and lubrication, okay? And then shape-shifting here, this again, going from one state of being to another. This is really, really an important time. Please, as much as you can, be gentle with yourself. I'm hearing, okay, I'm going to talk about something really specific here because they're bringing it up. There's someone on YouTube named Phil Good. I'm sure most of you have heard of Phil Good already, but please check him out if you have not yet heard of him. Phil Good, talks about this idea about being a dot, and I can't really explain it all like right now. So it's like, it's like very involved and in depth, but he has a beautiful webinar about it if you want to go check that out. But this has been coming up for me and just about everybody I've talked to, like in the last couple of weeks, where it's about if you find that you're in a place, or if you try to make plans ahead of time, then you get to the day when you were supposed to hang out with this person or do this for work or whatever, and you don't feel like doing it anymore, and then you have to cancel, and then you feel like crap for being a flake, okay? I am hearing that especially during this time for you guys, it is important to be in the present moment and try. I know we live in a 3D world. I get it. And time is something that a lot of people are attached to. And if your friend calls you or your mama calls you and says, can we go get lunch next Sunday? And you say, I'm not making plans in advance right now. as Phil Good would say, I'm being a dot, right? Because I just have to be in this here moment until the next here moment. They could look at you like you have 3 heads and then you're the alien and it's like, say what now? But I'm really hearing that for you during this time, as much as you possibly can, try to just not make plans too far in advance, because I really do feel like you're going to be feeling different, shape-shifting from one day to the other. One day is not necessarily going to resemble the day before very much. And I know that can sound a little bit scary and intense, but just remember, it's the security checkpoint. Okay? We're on the airplane going from, one climate to another right now. And it's just about how to make the in-flight entertainment, just to like really cue it up, because the flight can go really, quickly if you're watching something really good on that TV or reading something really good, or it could seem really long. You know what I mean? And so it's really about, I think that we're going to get through this time most beautifully and well and with the most ease, if we just try to not hold ourselves to any obligations or anything that's in the land of obligations, right? People need things from us. People require a lot of us at a certain time. We can either say, I can't do that right now. I love you. I'm going to have to get back to you when I can, and disappoint them in the moment. Or you could say, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it, even though your instinct is like, I don't know how I'm going to feel on the day. And then you get to the day and then you flake at the last minute, and then you're really going to like aggravate them, right? So it's really a choice. And that just feels really, really important to say to you guys right now. And again, crystals, focus. We have 2, images here that harken back to our Aquarian selves, with the amethyst crystal and our birthstones and the star card right here. And I really feel the ticket is an even amount of grounding ourselves into the earth, okay? But at the same time, connecting upward into the ether, into our intuition, into our guides, angels, celestial beings that can really help us through this time, because they can see what's going on a lot better than we can, and they know a lot about, where we are in this energy of moving from one place into another. It's kind of what they do, darling, right? Okay. Let's get an angel card for us Aquas. Let's get an angel card. Okay, I'm obsessed that this just came up right now, because I was literally just talking to a buddy of mine about this the other day. I was literally writing him an email about this like 2 days ago. So this is creative writing, Archangel Gabriel. Make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen an article or book. Okay, I cannot with this. The other day, I had a really crazy moment where a lot of life was happening, and I decided to sit down and just journal about it, which I hadn't done in a minute. And I found that in doing so, I was able to achieve that bird's eye view, and I came out of it just feeling a lot better. And I feel like this is a beautiful, and this actually goes really, oh God, it's exactly what this was saying too. I'm obsessed. So focus and shapeshifting, because meditation is beautiful, and I would absolutely always recommend meditation. But creative writing, especially for us Aquarians, it's almost like you're able to be active and receptive at the same exact time. And again, it's like I said, grounding, but also connecting upward as well. It's that duality. It feels really, really important for us right now. And this creative writing too, it's almost as if you are documenting a roadmap of sorts for you to look back at, even after you've just finished writing it. Even after I just had finished writing that journal entry, I read it over and I was like, oh gosh, I really couldn't see the forest through the trees, and it's so obvious. All I had to do is write it down, focus it, and I was able to shift from one state of being into a more desired state of being. And it was just like magic for me. It really, 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 really was. It really, really was just like magic. And I was telling a friend about that, and he had literally just recommended that I journal. So I'm obsessed that this is coming up. Please do this for yourself, because I can attest, because I'm going to testify on this, because this just happened for me, that it can really be just magical and take you from one state of being into a more desired one, achieving that bird's eye view, okay? And especially as Aquarians, it's like it feels really good to create and be active and solve our own problem. I was my own best counsel when I did that. I was my own best. Me doing that was better than calling up any friend and just like running mouth about it. And I had that thought at the time. I was like, who can I call to talk about this? I'm feeling some type of way. Should I pull cards? Should I meditate? And I decided to write it all down. And it was, I'm telling you, it was like ambrosia. It was like the elixir of life, darling. It was like, you know, a 2-for-1 special at the ice cream shop. It really, 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 really was. So I absolutely recommend this. And I feel like this is very divinely guided. This came out for y'all. Okay. And especially during this time too, when you enter into this new state of being, it's going to be invaluable if you are able to record what's going on during this time. Look back at it for reference. What did I say? I'm talking to people who have important work to do on this planet. Period. I also feel like I'm talking to a group of you that are here, were sent here in order to help others remember who they are. Period. And so writing, making that documentation, and having a journal of how you successfully did this during this time is only going to help you turn around and share that wisdom with others down the road. Point blank and period. And that is why this feels so freaking important. Okay? I absolutely love it. Beautiful, beautiful Aquas. I so hope that this was of help. I hope that this resonated. If it was and it did, please let me know in the comments below. You know that I just absolutely love that. Gosh, wait, how did I miss this? And the lion is at the head of his pride as well, right? I'm obsessed with this. Again, new tribe members coming in here feels really, really important. Anyway, I hate missing anything. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with a crazy voice. And I really hope that, you know, you guys are so well, and just thank you so much for being here. But most of all, just thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.